Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm Valerie. If you know me, you know that I'm a software engineer and I've been working in big tech for a few years now. And today we're gonna do something a little different. We're gonna go check out a startup. And this isn't just any startup, this is a generative AI startup. Chai Research is the startup we're gonna be exploring today, and Chai is based in downtown Palo Alto. Chai is a leading platform for chat AI where interactions are more human and less confined. I'm gonna wear this cute cardigan. What do we think? I'm actually really excited to go meet up with their team because they are AI researchers, they are backend engineers, they're front-end engineers. I love learning and I love in-person learning, and I love, one-on-one interactions because I find that I learn best that way. And I'm so excited to take you guys along with me to sort of understand more how startup tech life works rather than just big corporate tech life. So mornings at Chai Research, team members are ready to tackle challenges head on. So as they're working in the morning, it's time for a mid-morning boost. Let's go to Blue Bottle Coffee, which is around the corner in downtown Palo Alto, and to get that caffeine boost with an artisanal touch because I've worked at Blue Bottle. Okay, I would know. Can we talk about the vibes here? Downtown Palo Alto has such a beautiful and calm energy, and you can feel all the innovation with all the startups and VC firms clustered around the area. People who work or live here usually take their laptops to cozy cafes and public spaces to do work, and it's just a really creative downtown innovative tech vibe. After visiting Chai, I fell in love with Palo Alto, and I want to visit Palo Alto way more because I love the scene.
Hey everyone, this is my friend Cece. She is the lead front-end engineer at Chai. So Cece left Meta, her high-paying, six-figure Meta job in London, and she now decided to go work at a startup, Chai AI, where she's doing mobile development with Flutter. There's other generative AI apps, right? Oh, what makes people choose this one?
Chai has existed for 2 years, and a lot of the other ones are a lot newer, but if I go on Chai and I make a bot and it's it's my best friend bot, I'm not gonna ditch my best friend and go somewhere else. I've been talking to this bot, establish a relationship with her, and it's not something that I want to just drop.
So it's like an investment.
Yeah, exactly. Wow, you're committed to it. I'm not just gonna I would say why are you dating your boyfriend? There's lots of guys on the market,
Let's talk about the Chai app. Engaging with Chai's AI characters is like meeting an old friend. The AI's responses reflect its creator's dedication to fostering a connection that's genuine and relatable. Check this out. I'm gonna make a chat AI with its own unique personality from scratch using the Chai app. The interface is intuitive and the responses are startlingly human-like. That was mind-blowing to me. How does it know who it is to be a character, It's incredible to witness AI decipher context and produce coherent responses based on the characters they were created as. So what's the secret sauce behind this interesting product that's reached over $205 million in valuation? Let's go talk to the team behind the app. So the heart of the Chai app and Chai Research lies not just in its tech, but in its people. The team is more than a collection of bright minds. It's a tightly knit community that's deeply connected to the product and the vision. At Chai, the AI researchers aren't just shaping the future, they're building it. These minds, like Tom, a former quant trader, leveraged his unique background in machine learning to enrich Chai's AI algorithms.
We have Tom here. Tom is the lead AI researcher at Chai. Tom, tell me, how did you decide to start working at Chai?
I joined the founders' quant trading firm straight after I graduated from Cambridge back in 2020. And then I sort of like developed my role at a quant trading firm. As a trading platform became more mature and more stable, we're always looking for the next opportunity, what to build next, like what's going to be the thing that has larger impact going forward, 10 years in time, 20 years in time. We're all traders, we're all, using machine learning model to predict the outcome of the market. So we were using language model, we're playing with language model quite early on. So this is before even GPT 3.5 became popular. We knew that these models are very good, despite, back then people were saying GPT-2 is like kind of stupid and so on. So then we really wanted to try something out in this sort of like an AI, generative AI space, and then tried a couple of ideas. And then that's how, Chai came about. And then a couple of us, like traders and so on, got sucked in to this AI space also. I flew out here a year and a half ago, actually, setting up the office basically, and then went back to the UK, and then came back here, fully transitioned into this sort of like AI role now.
At the heart of every innovation are developers like Cece. Cece is the mobile developer at Chai. She is the one who builds the Chai app, making it super user-friendly and intuitive.
Say you're at school and you get bullied. You might that night go to sleep like you have a nightmare where you're being bullied. Or, you have a nightmare where like you've handed in your homework late or your teacher's angry at you, when we kind of like live out a situation that we're scared of. From what I've heard from speaking to some users, that like, if not like to think about how they'd act in that situation, like just to kind of like vent and like,
Yeah, that's something good.
yeah, definitely. It's like pretty cool.
Next, let's meet Alex. Alex is a backend engineer with a PhD in math, crazy, and he lends his math powers to helping build out Chai's AI infrastructure.
So I have here with me Alex, the lead backend engineer at Chai. I'm a front-end engineer.
Yes.
So I don't know as much as I'd like to about backend. So I'm just going to say what I think is happening, and then you correct me. You'd create APIs that CC would use in the Flutter app, and then you would create APIs that Tom can hook into so that the machine learning algorithms can take in a response and return a response.
Yes.
And then you store all of these responses and answers in like somewhere in a database to train models in the future, and to, of course, store user data and then just retain user information to update their preferences or anything, or to keep their account.
Yes.
Right.
That's all true, yeah. One interesting thing about when you're building a messaging platform is that it's quite different for the backends from platforms which are a lot more involved around feeds on social media and things like this. We actually process over 100 million messages a day, and it is not a trivial problem to get a database functioning in such an environment. Reading or writing to a database at such frequency is actually a very inefficient process. A lot of it can be offloaded away from a database, so it can be stateless, and a lot of what we do is involved in making sure we're doing things in the most optimized way possible to reduce costs, to ensure the database doesn't get overloaded. Our database actually, like the load on our main database actually runs quite high consistently. And so a lot of the monitoring and a lot of the maintenance we have to do is ensuring that if there is a spike in traffic to the platform, for example, we can actually handle that with our current database setup, which isn't the most efficient at the moment. And so, yeah, like part of a backend engineer's job is to identify these points at which, we have inefficiencies here, and we could reduce costs, we could handle more traffic if only we dealt with these sorts of inefficiencies.
If you get 100 million messages a day and you don't store it in the database right away because that's inefficient, what do you...
We store the user conversations in a separate service, not in a database. We use a Google Cloud bucket, which is just really a big hard drive that Google gives us, and we have very fast access to it, pretty much as speedy as accessing our usual real-time database to access that, and that allows us to keep the database open for more important connections like users logging in, users changing their bots, etc. That's a much more useful use of the database for us because they don't happen like thousands of times a second, whereas messages are coming in thousands of times a second. So conversations usually just get updated by this separate service, this separate storage service, so to speak. Yeah.
Oh, and so how do you query the Google part?
It's just a nice REST API. It's a very, very, very simple API. You just say, I want this document. They say, cool, I'll give it to you. We store it as a JSON document, and they can say, hey, here you get your JSON.
Now, even though all of these engineers that I've talked to all have extremely accomplished backgrounds, and I love that. But what Tom tells me is a little bit different when it comes to their interview process.
Okay, so earlier you had an interview for a candidate, and they came from like an elite school. They have an interesting background, and they failed because
They didn't deliver in a reasonable time. Yes.
okay. So what that tells me is like Chai is like great because they're not looking for just like people only from elite schools, because you can be from an elite school and still fail the interview. You can be from like a no-name school, but if you can get the work done, then you'd be perfect for Chai. So yeah.
You don't need to be from an amazing school. You probably don't even need a college degree as long as you're able to do the work. If you know me, you know that I do not have a college degree and I work at a huge tech company, so it is definitely possible for you. Make sure you have the skill sets that people at Chai need and you'll be good to go. As you may know, getting a job in big tech or just tech in general usually requires grinding a lot of LeetCode questions to be able to answer them in interview questions, be able to do code in front of your interviewer pretty quickly. That whole process is eliminated when it comes to interviewing at Chai.
You mentioned earlier, which I think a lot of the viewers will be excited about, which is that you guys don't ask LeetCode questions.
Correct. We do not.
So for any of you out there who do not like LeetCode questions, look into Chai and see if you're a good fit.
So we always find to evaluate whether someone is good for the job, just get them to do the job as a demonstration. So for example, Rob is working on implementing like a speed up of the language models, right? And you'll be using lots of methods to speed up the inference of the language model. So for an on-site, we'll give a candidate a server that they can SSH into. There's a language model sitting there. There's a prediction code, text in, text out. And we'll say, measure the throughput and speed it up. Sounds very simple, but through this, we can test the candidate's ability to write clean, reproducible code, the candidate's ability to come up with reasonable metrics. Can a candidate in reasonable amount of time produce something that beats the original throughput?
If you're watching this video and you're like, I want in on this adventure, you're in luck because Chai is on the lookout for passionate minds to join their team and shape the future of AI. They're looking for front-end engineers, back-end engineers, AI researchers, AI engineers, UX designers. So check out their careers page. Link is in my description box below. Don't miss out on this opportunity to be part of an incredible journey.
So not only are you guys making like millions monthly recurring revenue, you're also securing funding from VCs. That's really awesome. And that's why you guys just want to expand and like have more team members to work on the mission.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. We actually want to build something amazing, and we want to build something people want to use. We don't really want to build just a fun little app, that people just play around on. It's like we're trying to set the tone for what generative AI should be. I mean, we're also hiring on other fronts as well. Like we want to hire front-end engineers, we want to hire UX designers as well. There's a lot of work to be done. We have a really good product, we have a really good backend, but like we just want to make it as amazing as possible.
Did working at the quant company help you with what you're doing now?
Yeah. So basically with trading, like quant trading. Your goal is to maximize a number, and you're competing against many other experts. You're competing against systematic traders and so on. It's very hard in the sense that you really need to do whatever it takes in order to drive that performance up, and you're competing. You're in a saturated market, right? That's why we don't hear, people all going into quant trade because it's easy, but everyone else could be doing it.
Yeah.
So then it's like highly, highly competitive. So then when you move that mindset into the, building a language model space, what's the metric that you want to optimize for? It's engagement, right? In quant trading, you're optimizing for a number. In AI space, you're trying to optimize for user engagement. In product space, in any space, right? You're trying to optimize for user engagement. And that is hard and crowded. And there's that mindset, basically, the mindset of like just striving for each incremental progress until I'd get to, something that's high. And then go back and say, that's not high enough. We'll keep on driving that, forward. And also it's, quant trading is like, again, very fast paced, right? Like you need to make incremental progress every single step of the way. Big leaps, it's all these things combined. So it's like your progress looks like this and the jump, same here, just the experience operating in very harsh, saturated market with a lot of talents competing against you. And with quant trading, it's like you get results really quickly, like you get feedback really quickly. With product, you get feedback a bit slow. But then because you've got that mindset before, right, which is I wake up, I've got to make a good model. It's my only goal today. I've got to beat my previous best model. And you just do this every single day. And then you get to a position where you do serve the best with.
Yeah, let's see. After having lunch with Tom and Cece at the park, we headed back to the office, and then I wanted to know more about AI researching. Can you talk more about like the technical side of like AI researching?
Yeah, sure. Nowadays it's all Python, right? You have so many packages that you use to like train a model. It gets sometimes it gets close to software engineering now. In the sense that you're just trying to train efficiently a super large language model, with like your A100 GPUs and so on. So tech stack is very straightforward for the research part. It's just Python. And then you can use whatever packages that you want to make advancements.
So what sets Chai apart is pretty evident. They're not just a regular startup. They're not just pursuing venture capital dreams like a lot of startups do. Chai is already a profitable company, which confirms that this is an economically valuable product. They're already making millions in profit every year. Any extra funding is used to improve the product and have more engineers and AI researchers to become an even greater force for good.
What is your favorite part about building the Chai product? What has been your favorite part?
So for me, it's like hard to say, there's this one thing I enjoy working on. I sort of like to just look back, sometimes and say where we were before and where we are now. What kind of trajectory is that? And is that upwards trajectory that I find most rewarding, other than the day-to-day exact aspect of the job. It's not like, when I deploy a model with more engagement, I'm very happy because, there's a mountain to climb there.
Right.
You do enjoy these success moments along the way, but then for me, it's only when you zoom back and say, compare with a year ago. Where was I before? Where was the company before?
Yeah.
And where are we now?
Yeah. Sort of like seeing your own progress.
Long term.
As Chai research continues to shape the landscape of AI, one thing is certain: the journey has just begun. With Chai, humanity inches closer to innovating, connecting, understanding, where AI doesn't just emulate us, but it complements us. If you found this peek into Chai's world as fun and ambitious as I did, remember to check out their careers page in the description box below. Give this video a like, comment what you thought about it, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!